Peaceful arrival. Welcome, welcome. I am here for Goddess Glow. And I'll have to do my makeup as I answer some questions. So, welcome. Okay. So, our theme this week is soft power and sacred boundaries. A lovely one of a favorite in regards to a discussion. I think boundaries are a ever discussing conversation and should be excitingly discussed. So I'm not going to forget my primer today. Welcome, hello, it's TT by Tiana Taylor. So happy to have you here with me. And I'm excited to bring you some energy, some Goddess Glow vibes. And I love to take this time to do my makeup because then it encourages me to excitingly record and hold space and really love the reflection of like after and watching it back and being like, girl, your makeup was so lovely. You are just, I can't take my eyes off you. And I feel like we should feel like that about ourselves. Very much so. I enjoy this journey that I'm on and the steps and the places that it's bringing me and how I'm learning more about myself every single day. Yeah. Oh, I got House of the Dragon playing on one ear. And I'm about to start with my eyebrows. I'm so sorry. When I get to doing my eyebrows, I be having to focus hard body on the fucking eyebrows, but they're perfect now. And now I get back to talking. So this week, this is our partial, bringing us to our midpoint of December and reminding us about the recalibration of how we let energy touch us, move us, and access us. This week centers us as goddesses who know our glow is our resource and not a free for all. So, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We will be going to take first. This is in color correct. So, this is not a free for all of our energy, it's an honoring of our year. That green just does something. All right. So, our first question, where in my life does soft power want to lead more? And where am I still defaulting to force? So, where in my life does soft power want to lead more? Hmm. Where in my life does soft power want to lead more? I um where does soft power want to lead more? In my communication. I feel like that's something, especially this solar return. Oh, this looks amazing. This solar return, I really want to navigate and work on the fine tuning of my communication and my successful ability in communicating. I think that conversation, just across the board, I have grown accustomed to as I've gotten older to kind of resort to I'm just not going to speak because coming to a understanding is difficult with within losing myself and the character that I'm building at this time for me. So I know my journey has been very unique in regards to communication and the softness and power. I feel like that's the first thing that I would honor and state upon of like, yeah, I wouldn't use all of those in the same sentence to describe how I navigate in that sense, but I would like to. I feel like it's gonna keep me from wrinkling. It's gonna keep me um my highest of beauty in regards of navigating that's increased and matured style of communication. Um, like I said, silence is a go-to, honestly, for me, because I do work a lot on communicating. So when it's not working, it's like, let me just be quiet because maybe that will work too. So I do really have to navigate a component on how to navigate that. I also super important to navigate spaces and places where honor of self is present. I think um, those reminders and realities are very true and very needed and can look different based on your space and what you have access to. So, all right, question 2. How do you discern between a boundary you need and a barrier you built out of past hurt? Um, I would say with a boundary you need would be versus a barrier out of past hurt. For me, I know it comes with the access of communication. And like I said, I've been doing well navigating difficult communication with people who want me in their life. I think for me, there's a difference in communicating and boundaries and past hurt for me in regards to um, desire for having me and accessing in your life. I think I notice and feel those differences when I'm desired to be there versus like I'm a nuisance or I'm not wanted in those spaces. So, um, making space for me within all that has always been important because it's I have to be with me forevermore. And in honoring that, I also know like where it's time to exit stage left. And I think what the sooner we learn those things in regards, the better. So we are worthy of space being held for us. And when we acknowledge that worthiness, when we remind ourselves, like, hey, I like when I'm in spaces and around people that witness me and celebrate me, um, and where the ease of reciprocity is so valid. I think for me, I've grown as I get older. There's an exchange that I have with my loved ones that is reflective of strengths and where we blend together, like where my strengths support, where their strengths support, how our strengths blend together. I think too is another beauty and need and conversation that is important to discover within self. So I've been navigating that, and that is definitely unique. Um, Unique in the ways that our worthiness cannot be tied to others. It's a very personal experience, and we have to journey that. I feel like, especially for me, my birthday this week, like the reflection of worthiness, the reflection of celebration. Like it's not So yes, the difference between a boundary and a pass hurt is the one to actually engage with me. So I know I navigate different surrounding that. I don't engage. I'm not gonna lie when I know it's not. When you don't when the commitment to misunderstand me is greater than the desire to connect, I take my space, and it's been much more peaceful for me over here. I'm grateful for the peace that um mm, mm. Three, what energetic cues tells you someone is honoring my presence versus extracting from it? These fucking questions, yo. Energetic cues that someone is honoring my presence, eye contact, body language. And I think those two things mostly in terms of unspoken. Now, spoken components is reflective, um, also honoring. I feel like with reflective language in terms of communication, I think that's a beautiful and an energetic cue. Closeness, proximity, body language, like I said, to me, all that also shows if I'm being honored. I like to definitely partake in honor and praise conversations. I'm big on, I think it's important. We don't hear enough the good that we do. We hear a lot of what we don't. So I also feel like that aspect too. Energetically, now these conversations don't always have to be about positive topics. I am absolutely capable of navigating difficult conversations, but in spaces where respect from all parties is evident. I think when it's not, it becomes very difficult to have conversations. It becomes very difficult to have conversations when respect isn't in the mix because understanding and um, isn't the goal. So I have, especially in this past literal season, think about like the past 90 days of the transition from fall till now, I have most definitely participated in um I just won't talk about it. I once I've said my piece and I realized that the commitment to understanding is greater than the commitment to the connection, I stopped talking. Um it's honestly for me, I know one of the most respectful things that I can do, even though it may seem that it's not. Really knowing me is knowing that, like, if I'm going off and off and off about something, I usually am discrediting. No, I'm not discrediting. I'm allowing the fullness of my experience to be witnessed. And oftentimes, because I am such a feeling person, it is actually very difficult for those. I have to be mindful who I vent to because sometimes it's I just take it to the journal. I don't need I don't need an army. I've never needed an army. I could stand on my own in regards to um how I feel and moving accordingly based on that. Being true and still honoring the connection. I've always felt like it's so real when you feel deeply. So it's like you can how you grieve. Um, I'm a firm believer that it's okay to grieve connections and dynamics and the death of things that are still living. They just may not be having as much of a living space in your life anymore. And that's okay too. Um, Hmm. Let's see what the next question is. One thing is like this is like journaling out loud, so thanks for tuning into my journaling session. For how does your body respond when a boundary is crossed, and how quickly do you respond to its signals? How does my body respond when a boundary is crossed? Hmm. I feel like wow, to put words to it, I feel like the literal feeling of when like a tripwire is hit. Like I just thought about, I was like, what visual just came up? A tripwire visual totally just came up, and the reality of like the heartstring, a tripwire on the heartstring is a perfect way to describe um my experience with how it feels in my body when a boundary is crossed. How do I acknowledge that? I acknowledge it with and send healing there with breath. Strumming my pain, killing me softly is a reality. My favorite version is Lauren Hill's, and how quickly do I respond to the signals? Bring it back with breath work. That is the reason for the season, reason we live in, to be honest. And we gotta use that more. Use a deep breath, a cleansing breath, some pranayama. Maybe I'll do that this week. Teach some pranayamas. Breath work for the holidays. Sounds like a plan. Lastly, what ways have I been overly accessible this year, and what does my inner sanctuary need now? Mm. What ways have I been overly accessible? Um, a lot of ways. A lot of ways. Um, right now I've been practicing that I'm the altar, and that is one way that I've been honoring my inner sanctuary. It's a journey. Everyone's worthy of it. We are worthy of taking the time. Mhm. Taking the time. We're worthy of taking the time, having the time, honoring the time in our lives, in the journey that we're on, the step that we're on, in that. And mm, baby, so thank you. I'm going to have the goddess glow the rest of the journal prompts. And the first five that I went through with you, it's going to be on my website page. So if you are in tune, please follow everywhere that you can get in tune with me. And that is on my link tree. And that is TT by Tina Taylor. has a click link for everything. On my website, I have so easy to be able to access everything. So I'm so excited to have you here. I'm gonna post this up on the YouTube page and share it next week. Ashe. Wish me a happy birthday by subscribing, liking, follow me on the socials. Bye bye.